What's up, everybody? Thanks for joining me on D's analysis. We're going to be looking at MSTR today. So we got our pullback. It's been about two and a half trading weeks so far. We've been trending downwards since May 9th. We've made it to this horizontal level of support and resistance. We're still kind of holding it. We're making our way deeper into it, but we're still maintaining it. We definitely don't want to lose 353. I think if we lose that, we could run into that 343 level. And if we lose 338, we're probably going all the way down to the teens, maybe 315, 320, somewhere in there. And we'd probably meet this trend line again, which I definitely don't want to see again, because if we break that, we can go down much lower. Ideally, we want to see a nice move off of this level of support and resistance and reclaim that 415 to 425, 430 region. Eventually breaking out of that golden zone, retesting and pushing up higher. Same golden zone that we've been speaking about to the downside. On the daily Bollinger Bands, as you can see, we are at the bottom band right now. We normally don't spend too much time on the outer bands, so let's see if we make a nice move to the top and hopefully can hug the red on the way up. But if we do continue to hug the red on the way up, I would expect hugging it and pulling back to the blue, hugging the red, pulling back to the blue as we make our way up higher. I still think we have a chance of going higher here on MSTR. I don't think it's the end of the world yet. I do think that there's a chance that we spoke about this a couple of videos back. There's a chance that we could be front running Bitcoin's move. But we'll go over that in a little bit. We'll just run through the rest of these indicators really quick. We're falling a little bit further here. We're about to break into the 44s here on the RSI. I do think that we could find a level of support relatively soon, because it has held as a pretty key level in the past. So I think we could be pretty good from here. We'll see where things go, of course. Nothing's guaranteed. But here on the weekly, we really don't look too bad. We're still making it to the yellow moving average right now. So let's see, maybe that's what we're waiting for. Maybe we're waiting for that bounce off the weekly RSI to push up higher, eventually making it to that 70 overbought territory on the weekly RSI. Global liquidity on a weekly perspective looks great. We are slightly deviating from it, but price goes from here. I think we could definitely be finding a bottom relatively soon, whether it's here or at the bottom of this channel. But I still think we have some upside still to go. And we're going to turn this into a line chart here and overlay Bitcoin. So when you look, it kind of does look like MSTR, which is in the blue, was front running Bitcoin's move, which we know historically it kind of has done that. Not every single time, but you can see here it front ran this move. Here it looks like they were almost in line. Bitcoin kind of front ran MSTR in this sense, but you can see it kind of happens sometimes it doesn't. It's not a guaranteed thing, but it's not out of the ordinary either. So MSTR pulled back, and now we're starting to see that decline in Bitcoin. So I wonder if MSTR will start running up before Bitcoin goes up. That I'm not too sure about, but I'm starting to suspect that what we spoke about previously, I think that is potentially what's happening, where MSTR is just front running this move and Bitcoin is actually just following along, and eventually maybe Bitcoin will take back over and then MSTR will continue to follow Bitcoin. But I do think it kind of, switches back and forth for who's leading the race. Another point that I want to make is that starting from the 9:30 open here on MSTR to the close, we dropped 1.17%, right? 1.17. Bitcoin from 9:30 to that same 4 o'clock. Let's see, maybe from here. Dropped 1.45. So Not that that's a big deal, because it's really not. But if you looked at, the past couple days of trading, MSTR, the past couple days or last week or whatever, that thing would have dropped easily 4% on the day. But the fact that MSTR actually dropped less than Bitcoin, I think that is a slow transition in the right direction as to what we want to see, in my opinion. I know it's just small detail, but the fact that it dropped less than Bitcoin, I think that is a good sign. Tomorrow it could go right back to what it was doing. So don't hang your hat on this and say like, oh yeah, we're out of the woods, but we're definitely not. But I think things are potentially going to start turning around, hopefully. And like I said, I do think it's just front running Bitcoin's move. And you can see here on Bitcoin, we have that nice close here. Ideally, we would like to see a weekly close above 109.5. We got relatively close. We closed at practically 109 flat. But if we can get a close above this wick, which was the previous all-time highs, I think that would be extremely bullish, because now this is going to be acting as a level of support. I think it kind of already is a floor, in my opinion, because we have this level acting as a floor, which I think we're actually coming to retest right now. I think that's what this move is. Really all it is, I think it's just a retest to continue up higher. I think we're repeating something like this. So we're going to pull back and maybe get that strong bounce to the upside. And hopefully by the end of the wick, this is a nice green wick fill. And we get a wick down here. We touch our floor, push up, and then the body of the candle fills this wick right here. That would be the ideal scenario, closing 112 on the week. That would be the perfect scenario, but that does not have to play out. Well, that's kind of what I'm looking at. That's what I'm thinking could be happening. It makes sense when you really look at it, especially when you make it into a line chart. It really plays out a lot better. You can really see it. But even on the long-term view, this thing's looking amazing. Bitcoin's looking awesome. Even MSTR is looking good on a monthly or a 3-month basis. When you zoom out, you can see this is just extremely bullish. So, and we still draw our bull flag from here to here. You can draw it up to here if you want. Depends on where you take it from. And that puts you in that ballpark, 153 or something like that. So we definitely have more upside. If we were to hit that, that would be roughly, 42% move from here, from this exact price right now. So let's see where things take us. And honestly, I think that would probably, if we had a 42% move here, I think that would probably translate to maybe, it would be anywhere from 85 to a 95% move. So we'll just say, we'll go 80, 85, that puts you at 680 to 95. Just a rough ballpark puts you at 715. If Bitcoin were to run up to about 150K and MSTR only did, 2 to 2.25x of what Bitcoin does. But of course, if MSTR does more than what we're anticipating, and it behaves like we've seen here, then we can do more than that. We can, that 40-something% move can be a 120% move or something like that on MSTR. We all know once that thing gets going, it's game over. Once MSTR gets going, it's hard to stop that thing. But today has been another low volume day. Today's volume actually is lower than yesterday's. Yesterday's we had 14 million. The average is 18 million. Today we had 9 million, which is even lower. So there's literally nobody trading this thing at the moment. Not being literal, but there's not a lot of momentum in either direction at the moment, which is good because you want to see low volume at this point. So maybe that means we're turning back around and people are just buying it up, or people are just holding and not much is going on, which is a good sign. That's what we want to see. And then we want to see that volume kick up as we're increasing. But overall, I think we're looking pretty good. Like I said, when you zoom out, you go back to MSTR actually. When you zoom out, it's still looking good. When you had, after your large moves here on MSTR, you had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sideways, and then you started your move up. What if it's kind of the same concept right now? We had our 2 moves up, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and maybe we start making our way up on the next candle. Maybe we have 6 kind of sideways. This isn't really sideways. It's kind of sideways, but not necessarily. I mean, we haven't durably broken above this wick at 440, so I guess it's technically still considered sideways action. But we're playing at the top of the range, of course. But yeah, maybe the next monthly candle is the one that actually starts to break towards the 550 region and continue on up from there. But I do think we're still going to be in a good position. MSTR divided by Bitcoin. This is showing, MSTR, whether it's doing its job or not. Right now, we're slacking a little bit, but that's okay. We do have 2 days left on the monthly, so hopefully we get a wick here and we don't get that close. We don't want that solid close here at the 34. Hopefully we can push back up and close, at 39 or something. That would be ideal. That's what we want to see. And the same thing on the weekly. We want to get back in this range, but that would mean that MSTR has to really outperform Bitcoin in the next 2 days, which I don't know if that's going to happen. The way it has been going doesn't look like it's going to be likely, but it could happen. Yeah, we'll be watching this chart, and like I said, with the other ones, and continue monitoring everything. Here on the Tether Dominance, we're sitting at 4.58. We're kind of just holding sideways. Let's see if we get that next move down. We are looking good though. We're just slowly grinding lower, and I love to see that, especially here on the Tether Dominance. We want to get all the way down to that blue line, which is where we'll probably have our local top for this next move here on Bitcoin. So we'll see where things take us though. On Bitcoin Dominance, we're just hugging the top of this trend line. We definitely want to get a strong bounce to the downside. Ideally, we want to break below this 61.8 target right here, so we can get a nice move to the 60.2 area. We want to see this fall while Bitcoin's increasing in value. If Bitcoin's increasing while this is falling, that means alt season is starting to kick up. That's what we want to see. Once we get ETH going, we get Solana, all the big blue chip of the crypto, get those things going, and then we start getting the small little shit coins going. Things are going to start getting crazy, and that's when you'll start to see the FOMO, and everything's going to start taking off, including MSTR, which is what we want, of course. But yeah, we definitely want to see this. We want to see this nice move here, where maybe we touch this again. Hopefully not. We just go straight down. That's what we want to see. But right now, this has just been showing that Bitcoin has been the place to be. It's been outperforming practically every altcoin out there. Of course, you have your little altcoins that have outperformed, in a small time period, but this is against altcoins in general. Anything that's not Bitcoin related, that's within the crypto space. So if we can get this move down while Bitcoin's increasing, that's going to be extremely bullish. Like I said prior, we're looking at this 45 region for the tops in the cycles. That's all I have for you guys here on this video. I think things are looking good. Like and subscribe, share with a friend. I'll see you guys in the next one.